Hey everyone, Rebecca Jonesy here today, and I am doing a reading for Jason LaVelle and his latest release, Pathosis, Book 1 of the Dying World Chronicles. A sloppy extermination, evidence mismanaged, and all of America is at risk. Coast Guard Lieutenant Emily Brisbane is in charge of a strange ship on her dock. Everyone on board has been ripped apart. Even more disturbing, some of the bodies show teeth marks. Human teeth marks. Before she can conduct a full investigation, she needs to clear the ship of aggressive spiders attacking her investigators. Jack Wolfgang has seen a lot of strange things in his pest control job, but nothing like this ship. Picking through the bloody decks is bad, but spiders who hunt men is just too much. The government lady isn't paying him to risk his life, so he does the bare minimum before heading home. Lieutenant Brisbane, who Jack decided was actually a bit of a snug little wench, had a nasty sneer on her face when she led him onto the deck of the ship. But he couldn't have been prepared for what awaited him on the decks of the Darwin. So unprepared that, after only a few steps, he vomited into his white fabric respirator, filling it with jalapeno burger and onion rings. The lieutenant waited patiently for him to finish retching before she spoke. "As you can see, Mr. Wolfgang, we have quite a situation on our hands here." His eyes red and watering, Jack stood and wiped his mouth. He nodded. "We need to know what happened here. But earlier today, one of our investigation team members was bitten by a large spider. It was pretty dramatic, and, to be honest, no one wants to go back down below until the spiders have been taken care of." Seemed crazy to Jack at the time that a spider, even a big one, would frighten tough military personnel. Even though arachnophobia is the single most common phobia, these military types were supposed to be professional and fearless, or as close as you might come to it. Apparently, they aren't as tough as we all think. Lieutenant took him to a stairwell that led down into the belly of the ship. There, she bid him farewell. "Wait, ma'am, where did the ship come from? Knowing that could help me out." "You and me both," she replied, already making her way across the disgusting deck, strewn with body parts. It had been 40 minutes since Jack watched the lieutenant walk away. He threw himself into work. Impossible though it was, he tried to ignore the carnage he'd seen on the deck and focus on the bug problem. Large spider webs covered many of the corners and overhanging surfaces on the deck of the ship. Even the stairwell, he noted, appeared to have been coated with webs before the previous crew had been down there. "Well, webs indicate a species that relies on catching flying insects, mostly by chance," he said to himself. Unlike spiders that travel on the ground or a forest floor, such as the wolf spider or the wandering spider, these web-building spiders are typically not very active or aggressive. They sit calmly on their web or just within reach of their web, waiting for their prey to come to them. From what the lieutenant had told him, one of these spiders aggressively attacked a member of her crew. "It just doesn't make sense," he muttered, then started pumping his B&G sprayer. The B&G was a 1-gallon stainless steel pesticide sprayer that was widely used in the pest control industry. Connected to the small, hand-hold sprayer was a 4-foot section of red hose with a long brass wand attached to it that was used to spray any number of solutions, emulsifiable concentrates, and wettable powders. He stood up abruptly as the epiphany struck him in the middle of pumping. "It must be 2 different species. Probably tropical orb weavers up here. They make huge webs 10 feet in diameter in just a matter of hours. One of nature's most industrious and talented builders. But they're pretty harmless to humans. But they do bite. Then there must be another species down in the bellows of the ship, where that man was attacked." Jack snorted a little when he thought of a spider attacking a human. It just wasn't something that happened. He gave his sprayer a few more pumps until he could feel the pressure tightening within the tank. From the sling bag over his shoulder, he pulled on a second white fabric respirator and a pair of safety glasses. They had amber lenses, which made seeing in dim places, like the belly of this creepy ship, easier while still protecting his eyes from the chemicals he used. He cleared his throat loudly, as if to prepare himself. "Here we go." Jack's nervousness increased the further down into the ship he explored. Not about the bugs, mind you. Those were just bugs. Bugs could be sprayed, stepped on, squished with your hands, whatever. He was worried that he would find some type of bloodbath, the same type of bloodbath he had seen on the decks above. He entered the macabre laboratory, as if he were entering a warehouse that needed extermination, swinging his sprayer wand from side to side, coating the floor, and several feet up the walls with insecticide. He only made it into the room 10 feet when the spider appeared, startling him. The room was completely black, except for the beam of light that extended from his headlamp. One minute there was nothing but floor tiles, and then there it was, in his light. Large, bold, walking straight toward him on the floor, deliberately, as if it had nothing to fear. Jack watched the spider approach, and then raised his wand to spray it. The moment he depressed the trigger, the spider leapt for him. The jump was far, incredibly fast. The spider flew directly at his face. With speed he did not know he possessed, Jack ducked, twisted his head to the side. He swung the brass wand at the spider and struck it. All the movement set him off balance, and Jack fell to his knees. The spider landed somewhere out of view. Jack's feelings about bugs were changing rapidly as he crouched on all fours, panting. 6 feet in front of him, on thin, orange and black, spindly legs, a predator was stalking him. The spider wasn't small, but not the biggest either, of that he was sure. But it was unlike anything he had ever seen. The legs were thin and sharply jointed, making them perfect for maneuvering about an intricate web. The body, however, didn't have the frail, fragile body of a web dweller. It was long and hairy, with a nest of eyes in an aggressive semicircle, adorning its tall, supple thorax. The spider was not afraid of him. That's not right. Even aggressive arthropods are instinctively afraid of humans, he mumbled. But that spider showed no fear. It did, however, instill more fear in Jack with each passing second. There was something very different and unsettling about this species. He saw it right away, or rather, felt it, right down into his bones. And that is Pathosis by Jason LaVelle. It is out now. Everywhere you can get books. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, threefuriouspress.com. Go ahead and go get your copy today. The second book in the World Chronicle will be coming out later this year. And make sure you check the ceiling above you for cobwebs before reading. Thanks, everyone.